I can think of no one with the integrity, no one more committed to the fundamental principles that make this country what it is than my good friend, my late wife's great friend, Joe Biden. I know Joe. We know Joe. But most importantly, Joe knows us.
You know, Mika, you can take the hundreds of millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. You can take the organizations that all the political pros talk about. You can take the millions of tweets. You can take all the Facebook ads. You can take everything that is talked about every day on how to build a winning campaign, and all those combined are not as powerful as one man's words. Jim Clyburn, kingmaker.
That was likely the most pivotal moment of the 2020 presidential race so far. The endorsement from South Carolina Congressman Jim Clyburn last week helped catapult Joe Biden to a huge win in South Carolina, which then led to a stunning Super Tuesday for the former vice president. Biden swept the South, the projected winner in 9 states, with landslide victories in Alabama, Virginia, North Carolina, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. He also won Minnesota. He won the delegate-rich state of Texas. And he won Elizabeth Warren's home state of Massachusetts, where she came in 3rd behind Bernie Sanders. Sanders won his home state of Vermont, as well as Colorado and Utah. Sanders is also leading right now in the state with the most delegates, California, but the race is still way too early to call, with 50% of the vote in. Sanders has 33% to Biden's 24%.
And if California is anything like Texas, the early votes favored Sanders. But just like in Texas, Biden caught him in the end. We'll see if that happens in California.
The state of Maine is too close to call, with 91% of the vote in. Biden leads by 1,700 votes.
That's a shock as well.
When it comes to delegates, Biden is now the front runner, 453 to Sanders' 373. Those numbers will be updating throughout the morning.
And those numbers are stunning as you look at them. It was just a day or two ago that people were expecting Joe Biden to lose by 200, 300 delegates. Nobody, and I mean nobody, expected until early in the evening last night that Joe Biden had a chance to even draw even with Bernie Sanders by the end of the night on Super Tuesday, let alone go ahead of him this way.
Along with Joe, Willie, and me, we have MSNBC contributor Mike Barnicle, former White House press secretary for President Obama, Robert Gibbs, and host of MSNBC's Politics Nation, and president of the National Action Network, Reverend Al Sharpton. And Joe, right after he won South Carolina, Joe Biden said, if you've ever been down and out, if you've ever been down and out, this is the campaign for you.
Well, for good reason, because just 1 week ago, Joe Biden was out of money. His organization was non-existent. His support among his base, black voters, had dropped to single digits in most polls. His pathway was cluttered by one moderate after another, these candidates standing between him and the nomination. And Joe Biden was roundly being mocked as a man who had never won a single primary contest, despite the fact he'd been running for president since 1987. All of that changed in one night, with Biden showing extraordinary strength from Texas to Massachusetts, from Alabama to Minnesota. And voter turnout in Virginia was so massive that by the end of that contest, you could see a combination of suburban voters fed up with Donald Trump and black voters wanting to believe again, that they created a wall of support that I believe this morning, and I think most people who know anything about politics believe, that combination now poses an existential threat to Donald Trump's political future. And Willie Geist, as Steve Kornacki described it all last night, it was, in a word, shocking.
It was absolutely shocking. If you go back, Joe, 3 weeks ago, right now, we were waking up from New Hampshire, and all the talk was, after a fifth place finish in New Hampshire, how does Joe Biden get out of this race with dignity? A beloved figure in the party, a beloved figure in the country. How does he get out with dignity? Now we're waking up this morning as those dominoes fell yesterday, beginning in Virginia, going down North Carolina, through SEC country, Tennessee, Alabama, as you said, Texas, shocker in the state of Massachusetts, where Joe Biden wasn't even really playing, where he beat both Bernie Sanders and that state senator, Elizabeth Warren. And then the state of Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar dropping out on Monday, quickly backing Joe Biden. He cleaned up with 9 states. As you said, California is still out there. Will be interesting to see day of voting as that all comes in, and also some of that postmark voting that just was sent out yesterday. And Mike Barnicle, you've known Joe Biden for a long time. I know even people inside Joe Biden's campaign thought after New Hampshire, yes, let's see what happens in South Carolina. We believe that's the place we'll do the best. But nobody, even inside the campaign, saw last night coming.
Absolutely correct. It's incredible. I've never heard of anything like it. I don't think any of us have ever heard anything like it. A week ago yesterday, Joe Biden was at 11 points in Massachusetts, and he won the state last night. Clearly, as Joe alluded to, and as we showed the clip, South Carolina was Resurrection City.
Yep.
And I think what happened is, after South Carolina and his terrific speech, the remarks that he made after his stunning victory in South Carolina, they were repeated again and again on Sunday on TV and on Monday on TV. And what people saw, I think, Willie, is humanity.
Yep.
They saw his humanity. They saw the fact that he's a candidate with purpose, and they came back to him.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.